Farhan Husain here with Dennis Foley. We're speaking with Daisy Khan, the Executive Director of the American Society for Muslim Advancement. How are you doing, Daisy?
How are you? I'm very well.
We're good. We have a controversy on hand that we want to address. That is the mosque being built by Ground Zero, 2 blocks away. And this is by the site of the September 11th attacks. Can you just clarify for us what the exact plans are?
Well, first of all, it has been incorrectly reported as a 13-story mosque. It is a community center that will, serve the needs of Lower Manhattan. And we Muslims who also suffered in that tragic event, we are New Yorkers, we're Americans, and we feel it's part of our obligation to be part of the rebuilding of Lower Manhattan. And this is why we have ventured out to establish a community center that will serve the larger needs of the broader community.
Just to stick to the actual center. Now, what exactly will you include in the center that will give back to the community? And also, is it a misconception that's 13 stories, or is it a misconception that's going to be just a mosque?
Well, there's a misconception that it'll be a mosque primarily, and it will be largely a community center with a prayer space inside it. So the purpose is to meet the needs of the Muslim community as well as the needs of the broader community, and there will be recreational facilities such as a pool, a gym, basketball court. There will be religious activities like interfaith dialogue, multi-faith prayer. There will be cultural and arts activities such as exhibitions, performing arts, theater, which will be 500-seat performing arts theater. And there will be global engagement such as lecture hall and, vigorous debates that need to be had in the world we live in today. There will be educational facilities such as classrooms and forums for lectures and conferences. And then there will be some fun things like cooking, a large-scale commercial kitchen for cooking classes, some restaurants, some stores, and in addition to all of this, there will be a memorial for the victims of 9/11.
So why do you think you and your group are facing opposition and controversy for this project?
I think that there is largely ignorance about who Muslims are. And there are some families that have not healed from the event of 9/11. And there are groups that, genuinely do not trust the Muslim community. And so it's a blend of people who distrust our intent, who see us as outsiders, who do not accept us as equals here. There are groups who are truly suffering still from the loss of their loved ones. And they have come together and have created a very large force. And it is now our job to reach out to those who need the healing. And that is the group that we've decided to focus our energy on.
Farhan Husain here with Dennis Foley. Again, we're talking with Daisy Khan, the Executive Director of the American Society for Muslim Advancement. Now, you say that you're going to do all of these types of things. The center is going to be how you described, service to the community. Why do you look at this as the answer to all the mistrust that might be leading people to the misconception of Islam associated with terrorism? Is this the answer?
Well, yes, it's a very unequivocal answer, which is that we want once and for all to de-link the religion of Islam, the people who practice it, from the actions of the extremists. And the act of what happened on 9/11 was terrorism, and the mainstream Muslim community has absolutely no responsibility to what happened. However, we do have a responsibility to rebuild our city, to create the healing, and we also have the responsibility to create a counter momentum to extremism. And a center like this will give voice to that very silent majority of Muslims whose religion has been hijacked by the extremists.
You say the silent majority. Why haven't the powerful figures of Islam stepped up and denounced themselves from terrorism bluntly.
They have. Many have, and many do. And somehow their voices get drowned out by the voices of the extremists. And this is just the nature of the world we live in today. So this is why a center like this will be a major amplifier of that silent majority of Muslims who will come together in large numbers alongside with people of other faiths and perhaps people of no faiths to jointly proclaim that exclusive ideologies are not acceptable, and exclusive ideologies are what is creating the rift between our peoples, and really there is no room for that, and what better place to do it than the place where the most horrific, tragic event took place.
Now, your opposition to this plan say that one of their concerns is that Imam Faisal has refused to denounce Hamas as a terrorist organization. Are there any reasons for this, or is there any validity to that statement?
There is really no validity to that statement. I think I have never heard him support Hamas in my life. He is my husband. He is very firm on where he stands on terrorism. He has included the fatwa, a very major fatwa that was issued after 9/11, which did not get publicized in the press by major religious figures from the Muslim community, saying that the act of 9/11 was an act of terror, and so therefore the Muslim armed forces had the right to go and fight fellow Muslims in Afghanistan. Now, this was a major fatwa that stated that the event of 9/11 was a terrorist act, and he felt so compelled that this should be included, that should be amplified all over the United States, that he actually included it in his book as an appendix. And his book is "What's Right with Islam is What's Right with America," and so he has zero tolerance for terrorism.
Farhan Husain here with Dennis Foley. Again, we're talking with Daisy Khan, the executive director of the American Society for Muslim Advancement.
So recently we've heard in the news a bit about a few Twitter posts, primarily from Sarah Palin, but you reacted to that post. Any comments on that?
Well, I retweeted her back with my own.
I'm sorry if I could just interrupt you so our listeners can know the tweet. She said, "Peace-seeking Muslims, please understand, Ground Zero Mosque is unnecessary provocation. It stabs hearts. Please reject it in the interest of healing." Your response?
Oh, Lady Palin, let thou not tweet about bleeding hearts. Let's meet and repudiate thine mosque charge. Alas, it's but a Muslim JCC, a YMCA. Long live USA, a stage for all faiths. And I haven't heard back yet. I'm waiting for a reply.
As is the rest of America right now.
Yes.
Now, are you worried that this mosque or community center might cause more controversy and destruction than tolerance and peace?
I think that this is just the story of all religions in America. Every religious community, from the earliest of times, every time they've tried to state themselves in America as an American religion, they do get a lot of pushback. So historically, if you look at what the Catholics went through, and we had a historian recently telling us about how difficult it was for, when they were building the St. Patrick's Cathedral, it actually had to have a fence around it because people were going to burn it. And St. Peter's also had the same difficulty. And now they are iconic, buildings. And the Jews, as you know, went through a lot of difficulties and had to create their own institutions. I think that this